But yeah, I went to New York. That's where I went. And that's that. That's my story of New York.
Got it.
Got it? It'll be a lesson later on, hopefully, somewhere down the line. You got something to open the show?
I've got a couple things.
Okay, I got a little thing that I want to bring to your attention.
Okay.
Where's that coming from? A little washout is what they call it in the biz. You don't care.
I don't care.
You don't care at all. 9:31, right on time.
Right.
Here we go.
And now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright and so on. It's a rigorous training dished out who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the award-winning #1 podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF1 accreditation. On this week's show, Talking Terminology, we're going to talk about ligament and the Nuchal ligament. Also, a discussion of conformation of withers and a case study of a frayed hoof, and pictures are involved. So make sure you go over to YouTube right now and watch this in real time. And over to my far right side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing okay. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing all right. You're not convincing me that you're doing okay.
What can I do to convince you I'm doing okay?
I want you to say, Mike, how are you doing today? And I want you to come at me full blast.
Spectacular. Incredible.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. It's nice and cool out. The weather's starting to cool off here in the Carolinas. We broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town we like to call Marshville. A little windy yesterday, but today the weather is cooling down and that fall breeze is kicking in.
Yes, it is, and horses are loving it.
They are loving it. Now, last week, I took last week off because I forgot that I went to New York. Mike goes, didn't you go somewhere? I go, did I? Oh, yeah, I went to New York. Yeah, I went to New York last week. I saw some fam and stuff up there. And when we came back, my wife and I were having a discussion about doing for Cayenne, soaking the hay.
Right.
And when we got back, she had to go the next day, turn around, and go straight to work. So I was in charge of the horses for the week. And she asked me, when do you put the hay in the water bucket? And I said, well, when I feed them in the morning, I put the hay in the water bucket and let it sit, and I give it to them at night. She's like, oh, no, you can't leave it in there that long. I'm like, well, why? She's like, because, and then she gave me something, and my mind just went, doo.
Well, that's kind of where your mind is anyway, but there is a specific time period where you soak the most sugars out, and it seems from what I've heard from people that if you soak it too long, they kind of migrate back in.
See, that's what I was trying to get out of her, and I couldn't get a straight answer from her because she was like, well, you can't do it that long. I'm like, why? What is the rule? And she's like, you just can't do it that way. It's too long. And I was like, okay, I understand it's too long. Okay, but tell me, is it 31 minutes? Is it 39 minutes? Is it 22 minutes? What is the time frame? She says anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. I said, okay. I said, so if it sits in there for 30 minutes and I forget about it or whatever, do I need to throw it away?
There's other people that will soak it for 30 minutes, other people that will soak it for an hour.
So that's what I'm saying. There's so much willy-nilly randomness to it. Who's to say one rule is right and the other rule is wrong? So what's the difference from me saying I've
You can start running tests on the water and see at what point that you get the maximum amount of sugar into the water out of the hay.
So I'm going to drink the water like I'm drinking the last,
then you
like
keep
cereal.
Then you keep testing. If the sugar level in the water starts lowering, that means it's migrating back into the hay.
Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, the milk
Which
bowl.
I don't understand that, but yeah.
The milk bowl with sugar in the bottom of it. You just take a sip of the water and go, that's a lot of sugary. So, Mike, what have you been up to?
Well, same old thing that I always am, going out and looking at a few horses. Had a old friend ended up having to say goodbye to, one of my clients' horses that it was just time. And that's always sad. Thursday last week, I ended up making a run down to the Southern Pines area. And remember Dr. Megan that is focused on, her focus is podiatry?
Yes.
I went down and we worked together on a horse.
Okay.
In Southern Pines on Thursday evening.
Okay. So it was kind of yin and yang. You had a bad experience and a kind of a good experience.
Right. And work with Dr. Megan Radkin, it went very well. And we got the situation much happier than it was.
So what was the reason, to backtrack a little bit, what was the reason behind the horse that you had to put down? Was it just old? Was it just, what was the actual, okay, this is the threshold that we've crossed, and that threshold is X. What was the threshold?
He was old, and...
was he a show horse? Was he a pasture pony?
At one time, many years ago, he was a bit of a show horse. He'd been a pasture pony for a long time. Most of his career... I don't remember exactly, but he ended up basically being retired pretty young, and in the cooler weather and everything, he played with his younger buddies, and I don't know what went on, but apparently he injured himself, and he was not handling weight bearing really good on the one leg, and with everything else going on, it seemed like it was time, and.
So you had to do the ultimate sacrifice for the horse.
Yeah, he was not doing well, but apparently he got romping and stomping and all that kind of stuff, and he did run into a fence and damage himself.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
And so it's sad, but sometimes it's part of owning horses.
You hear people talk about horses. I've got horses, and then. People go, oh, you're so lucky to have a horse. But it's no different than having a dog or a cat or something like that. There is a lifespan. There is an expectancy. There is unfortunately, things that might happen to whatever animal they got, even family members or anything like that, you never really hear about losing a horse. And when you do, I think in the animal community, you lose a dog. Oh my God, my dog's my best friend. I've never seen people hit so hard when they lose their forever partner,
right.
Whatever they say, their horse partner. I've never seen people been so affected. It's like losing your best family member.
Right.
So I just, my condolences to the person that lost their horse this week.
Yeah, no kidding. That's always hard.
All right, guys. Well, we got a lot to get into, lots of exciting stuff. We're going to bring you up on a positive note. And when we come back, we're going to talk terminology. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. We'd love for you to be part of the show. You can join the podcast. The way you can join the podcast is go over to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page actually says join the podcast. Click on that. There's a little orange bar at the top that says leave a message for Mike Stine. You can speak right into it. Your voice goes right to our inbox, and your voice can come right here on the air with us. And we record this show every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're not going to go live on the air with us. You just leave us a message. Your voice can be played here on the air.
We don't go live on the air with us.
No, but we can answer your message, but your voice can be heard during the show, and you can say, look at me, I'm podcast famous, Mom, podcast famous.
That's right.
And leave us a message, comes right to our inbox, and you can go back through. This is season 13, wrapping up season 13 in the next couple of weeks. But we've got 12 seasons of shows that you can go back through and ask us any questions about any of the people that we've had on the show or anything that we've done here in the studio. And over to my far hand side, my very own answer man is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you?
Doing all right. Now, this is a part of the show. Normally, when we have guests on the show, we kind of forego this section of the show. But this section is what we call talking terminology. This is the part where if you've heard a phrase, a term, something in the barn that you're not familiar with, and you're just too shy or just don't understand exactly what that term is, we kind of define some of those right here. And this week we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about ligament and nuchal ligament. Now,
nuchal ligament in particular, yes.
Okay. So I know what a ligament is. It's that piece of the chicken when I bite on a chicken leg.
Exactly.
That one ligament always gets me.
Right.
So
right.
I know what a ligament is.
Right. A ligament's attached bone to bone, and they stabilize a joint and try to make sure a joint doesn't bend in the wrong direction. And joints can be bent in the wrong direction because I've done it to myself more than once. But the nuchal ligament itself runs, down the top of the neck. And you've looked at the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
I've seen it on pictures.
On pictures. You never climbed up on top of it or anything like that.
They won't let me anymore.
Huh. That's a shame. But, it's got a cable suspension. And the nuchal ligament's kind of like the cable suspension. And they're...
Now, you're saying nuchal, and that's N-U-C...
Am I saying it right?
No, yeah, you're saying it, but you're saying it so fast. It's Nucal, just so people understand when you say nuchal ligament. Nuchal. So when people hear you say it,
Nuchal ligament.
They can visualize that. So that's Nucal. So the nuchal ligament.
Right. So it's kind of like the cables in the bridge.
Yes.
And it goes, attached to the withers, and it goes up the spine, and it attaches into the vertebrae down the neck. And just like the very base of the neck, it skips a little bit, and I think the last vertebrae at the top, if I'm correct, I may not be. I'm usually not, but the other vertebrae between it connects to.
Sip of water.
Yes, please. Thank you.
This break of Michael taking a drink of water is brought to you by Equine Dynamics. Equine Dynamics. Get your voice heard. Be on the air. Equine Dynamics.
Right.
There you go.
And we got an advertisement too.
Yeah, but a little bit out of it.
But when a horse lifts its back, part of the apparatus of lifting the back is the head going down, and which goes into where you feed your horses, and you're feeding horses were designed to eat on ground level, and it's kind of a seesaw effect across the top of your withers.
So on my handy dandy cheat sheet here, I got ligament, the tough, dense connective tissue that connects the bone to bone in the region of a joint.
And if you don't understand what dense is, come hang out with me a little bit.
Yeah, we'll find out right away. It is made from fibers that help prevent movement of the joint in the direction other than the movement in which the joint is designed to move. So it just keeps you from doing that chicken leg or where the bone flips backwards, hyperextended, I guess.
Hyperextended the joint, yes.
There you go. Now, your nuchal ligament, the Nucal ligament, this ligament supports the horse's head and neck, both when lowering the head, such as a horse when grazing. It also assists in raising the head and neck. When the horse is in motion, the nuchal ligament influences the engagement of its hind legs and the pelvic tilt. Did I say that right?
Yes, it does, for sure. I mean, the head positioning has everything to do with what the pelvis is doing. And, if you don't get that right.
Now, over on your YouTube channel, we have, what they call shorts over on YouTube. They're little 3-minute videos and stuff. And so, you can digest the Equine Dynamics podcast in little bite-sized pieces. And there's one there where you brought in that Dolly's head.
Right.
And people are adding that to their favorites because you were talking about how the jaw movement can affect the neck and all that, right, on the past couple episodes.
Right. And we had Dr. Fred on talking about that.
Correct. And so that video itself, I don't know, it's got like 10, 15,000 views on it, but people are understanding, hey, this makes a lot of sense where the head and everything affects the way the back moves.
Right. And, the way the pelvis moves affects head carriage.
Yes.
And, seriously, if the pelvis is cocked around, it changes position of the shoulders, which changes tension on the brachiocephalicus, which changes how the head's carried on the neck.
Okay, and so we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come back and continue our discussion because we're going to discuss the conformation of the withers and what's the meaning of all this, because every show's got a topic, and this is going to blend right into it. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Right.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget to follow him over on Facebook. And the reason why you're going to do that is because you're tired of looking at your friend's cats and your neighbor's lunch that they post on Facebook all the time. And you want to educate yourself. You want to get more educated.
That's not your yellow lab, is it?
No, it's not my yellow
lab. That one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
He went cruising down the road. When I was stopped, he walked out in the road, stood in front of me, and barked.
Oh, the one out front of the studio here?
Yeah.
No, that's the neighborhood dog. But you can continue your education by going to Facebook and follow Mike Stine over there. He always posts a bunch of different diagrams, a lot of different photos. We have a case study that we're going to get into here. He's going to post that as well over on his Facebook page so you can see it in real time. That's Equine Dynamics Mike Stine over on Facebook. He's got 2 pages, so don't be concerned. One is his personal page, one is his professional page, and he posts on both. So if you follow one, chances are you're going to follow the other one as well. So make sure you do that. And over to my far hand side is my very very own YouTube influencer is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Travis?
Doing all right. So you were talking about that yellow dog out front. Yeah,
right.
That's the neighborhood dog. He patrols. He goes from the house on the corner down past my house over to the neighbor's house who has dogs, and then patrols
Well,
back.
when I was trying to turn in, he decided he would stand and walk from the side directly in front of the truck and stand there and bark at me in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him because one day
it's going to be a bad day one day.
Yeah, that's a busy road out there. Now, we're going to have a good day right now because right now we're going to continue our discussion about ligaments and the nuchal ligaments, and we're now going to talk about discussion of conformation of weather. So how are these two topics related?
Well, they're
Mike?
very related because you got the head on one end of the neck, you got going to the thoracic vertebrae, and the withers are at the front end of the thoracic vertebrae, and a lot of the muscling that ties into your shoulder sling uses that as a support base. And
every time Mike talks about all these different ligaments and stuff,
Right.
I have to move myself to make sure I'm sitting posture wise here on the camera.
when the the horse's head lowers, the connections through the withers helps to raise the horse's back. And good strong withers, if you get these what they call mutton wither horses where the withers are almost down between the shoulder blades, it's kind of hard. It affects their performance. It affects their back strength and their ability to raise. And a good substantial withers coming up, it's easier for your horse to lift. And also, it affects where the withers are. If they're shifted forward, shifted back, affects angulation of the shoulder.
Now, is this important? Go ahead.
If a plow horse slayed into a collar, some of them they may prefer a straighter shoulder, but for a horse to get good extension, a little more slope to the shoulder is better, and that's directly tied to how the withers are formed.
Now, is this important for horses that are working, like that are in some kind of training, some kind of discipline, or versus like Dominique has retired out there?
Well, Dominique thinks it's important because it allows her to put her head down and eat.
Okay, so so it's important on both ends, whether it's a working horse doing full-time work and a pasture pony that's outside.
It definitely affects performance, and anything that affects performance can affect long-term soundness. If it's in a positive way, they should stay sound longer.
But it's okay if they're eating grass, if they're just eating grass, or we need to watch that as well. This is not, hey, put my horse out there and forget about it.
This is not something when you're buying horses. Look at a good wither. You don't want the horse downhill. You don't want them extreme uphill either. It should be fairly level for what you're doing, and you just go with what you got. With saddle fitting, horses that are these mutton wither, no withers horses, it's kind of tough saddle fitting at times, where to have decent withers on a horse makes it a little easier to fit in the saddle. And also when you're looking at the trapezius ties into the wither, and if you're hollowed out behind the withers, you've got atrophy to the the thoracic trapezius, and then in front of with the other part of the trapezius in front of the neck, if that's overdeveloped and locked up, that's another deal you got to look at, and that all affects how that whole shoulder sling moves and whether the back can lift or not.
Well, I hope my wife knows all this stuff. I'm sure she does.
She does.
Because
that's where I got my information.
It's because we do have two retired horses out on. Well, I say two retired. We have one retired horse out there. Her name's Dominique, and she's a mare. And we have Cayenne, which is her little pasture buddy out there.
And outside the pasture buddy, Cayenne's job has been, eating.
Yes, and that's the one that we have to do the milk bowl sugar thing with her.
Right.
So make sure that she doesn't get too much
Got
sugar.
plenty of sugar in her milk and cereal in the morning.
Right, because she has breathing issues.
Right.
All right, when we come back, we're going to do a case study. So if you're not following us over on YouTube and you want to watch this in real time as we're talking about it here on the show, go over to YouTube, search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine right now, and we got a picture of what looks like the leg of a furniture, like an old furniture left outside, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you're over there on YouTube. So stick around. We'll dive into that when we come back. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you don't want to go on the air with us, that's fine. If you just want to ask Mike Stine a question, the way you can do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says contact us. What, Mike?
If you want to throw rocks at us, throw them at Travis.
Go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says contact us. Fill out that little form. Make sure you put a physical return address. We're getting close to the holiday, so all our new holiday gear will be coming up, and it'll run out and sell out quick. We don't sell them. We just give them out to you, so I just want to use that phrase, sell them out quick. So get your name and everything in there right now. Thanksgiving's coming up. We got Halloween right around the corner, and then Christmas in the near future, and all our new Equine Dynamics gear will be coming out for the holidays, so make sure you sign up right now. Go to equinedynamics.com. And over to my far hand side, my very own Bah Humbug is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you doing?
Doing all right. So now we have a case study of a horse. We didn't give the horse's name. You don't remember the horse's name, do you?
No.
Bucky.
Bucky.
We'll say Bucky.
We'll call him Bucky.
So this horse right here, Bucky.
Bucky was a mare. I don't know.
It's okay. But this horse right here, this is just the shoe. And I'm going to switch over to camera 6.
Not a shoe.
Well, the
It doesn't have a
hoof.
shoe on. It's a foot.
It's the foot. Oh, you don't want to see that. We don't want to see that either. Where's the picture?
Where did you put that picture? There it is.
First day on the planet, I guess. So here we go. Mm-hmm. This is what looks like to me if you've ever left like wicker furniture out in the rain too long, and the leg just kind of splinters out that's sitting on the ground. But this is a horse's hoof.
Right, it is. And one of those situations, I got sent pictures.
Mike, I'm not to interrupt you. I've never seen cracks go up and down like this. It's all the way around. The horse's foot, you have the rings that go left to right. This is cracks that are going straight up and down on the horse. And there's numerous.
The horn tubules run up and down. And part of what's happened with this foot is, you remember when this spring and summer when everything was just so soaking wet?
Yes.
Okay. Over time, that the swelling of the tubule starts breaking the bonds a little bit and weakens the foot. And then it will start cracking when it gets dry. Sometimes they'll start coming apart because everybody says, "Oh, feet are too dry." In my opinion, in our part of the country, when they spend time, it's about them being too wet. Mm-hmm. Because I've worked on horses in other parts of the country, especially the Midwest, and those horses don't see much water at all in their feet. And where I was working, we didn't see stuff like that because I worked, area that's high desert. In Arizona, when I was doing the racehorse stuff, they had an operation out there and here, and I was working both of them. And then working in Colorado, when the times I've been out there to work on horses, it has not been the same. That'd be the main place, but I have been up all up to Wyoming and that sort of deal. But
why is this hoof wet?
But remember the summer, like it was raining every week?
Yeah.
Well, it was out in it every week, and it was out in the dew every week, and it was just, the foot was just been saturated. And this is one of those deals. I got a call on it and sent these pictures. It's like, the horse is lame on this foot. We need somebody now.
Lame?
Right. It's a little tender-footed on it.
This is
and
busted.
The foot probably collapsed, probably on the sole too much, probably on the tip of the collarbone too much. But the other part of the story is talking to the person that sent me a picture, and I did talk to them. I was not, they need somebody immediately, if not sooner. But part of the story with this was, I said, well, do you get your horses done on a regular basis? And the answer was, yes, we get them twice a year if they need it.
Or not.
And so the foot was probably overgrown, and then it was wet, and then the extra leverage, and it just started pulling itself apart. And, anyway.
So how do you fix that? Is that fixable?
It's fixable. It is fixable.
Where do you start?
By putting the horse on a regular hoof maintenance program.
Okay, that's a good start. That's one.
Of course, the idea of twice a year if they need it to on a regular cycle is kind of a different concept. Mm-hmm. And some of these things are up to the owners. And
I'm assuming this wasn't a working horse. This was a pasture buddy or a pasture.
No, this horse is not working.
Okay.
And sometimes it's the owner's goal to spend as little money as possible.
Sure.
And so that's kind of where that is.
So do you? Go ahead.
But trimming the foot,
That's what I was going to ask.
getting the flaring and pulling away under control a little bit, and addressing the back of the foot, and judging from what I'm seeing up top, this foot's probably a shade on the clubby side, I'm guessing. I can't remember. There probably was a lateral view, but just looking at what that coronary band and everything's shaped like, and the foot's just kind of straight up and down.
Now, is there a special boot or something that you would have to put on this?
You could clean it up and get a boot and put it in there like a soft ride, or there's other boots that would probably work to give the horse some relief for a while. This situation, I don't think, as far as attaching the thing to the foot permanently, the owner just wanted the foot trimmed, and
It's going to flake off like wood chips.
well, yeah. But the problem is if the heels are run way under, that's a bit of a problem. So you got to address that and get the base of support where it should be, and allow the foot, the horse a chance to grow some foot without it exploding. And keep the wall dressed up, and hopefully some of those cracks start healing up and coming down and doing okay. You could use hardener, like Caratex or some of those products on there to kind of help with it. But you're losing in the saturated time. You're losing some of the bond of the proteins in the hoof, and it's breaking down. It's less durable. Wet cardboard. You soak it a few times.
Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of deal.
Is there any kind of like epoxy, or I want to put like Bondo on this? Like when you get a dent or a chip in your car or something like that, you put Bondo on it and kind of sand it and go, look, bing, brand new.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are acrylics that we put on there. Bondo people have put that on feet. It kind of tends to crack.
Even when like ladies get their fingernails done,
Right.
some kind of acrylic that you can put on there to keep the nails from splitting.
Right.
Okay, so you can.
There are things like that can be done.
Oh, okay.
Does it warrant doing it? And is it going to be followed up with?
No X-rays or anything on this horse? Did you ask for X-rays? That's the first thing I would ask.
I never saw the horse.
Oh, okay.
My suspicion is you had a very minimal sole depth, and I think the goal of the owner was to not spend money. But an X-ray would probably show you some things like why the horse was sore. You probably don't have enough real estate between the coffin bones trying to find where the ground is a little too easy. Mm-hmm. And, getting a situation where the horse could be. But, I mean, as far as the Bondo, the acrylics, I use probably more than urethanes. But you can take fiberglass fabric as long you couldn't on that foot because it's soaking wet. But if you could clean it up and you can use some things to medicate your acrylics that will leach out. And yes, I have done that on feet before. Not the first thing I want to go to, but sometimes the condition of the wall is we need to do something temporary and then get rid of it. Over time, some of what we're sticking on a horse's feet is not necessarily the best answer either. There's no perfect answer to it.
What about the rest of the feet? Do you know what the rest of the feet look like, or you just got the picture of the one?
I just got the picture of the one. Apparently that foot was the problem because the horse came up lame on it. And
I would imagine the other ones are probably close behind that.
Probably, but there were other horses involved, and they didn't see where they needed any service from that end too.
Speaking of service, is there someone that you can call when the horse has gotten this bag? I mean, like animal control, or is there someone that you can report? And have you personally come across a horse and you can say, this horse has been neglected. I have to, my stature of license and agreements says that I need to report you because you are not fit to take care of this horse.
Well, that's one of those things that,
not to put you on the spot, Mike, but I'm just saying.
No. That's one of those things that depends on the state and the county on how they would even look at it. And around this area, sad to say, is if they got food, they're fine.
Yeah.
And I don't think that a lot happens, but I don't think anybody is out to neglect their horse. It's just their mindset is where it is.
Can you fill out some kind of paperwork at whatever? I know you work with a couple rescues. Working on
I just work with Humane Society,
right.
South Carolina, work on horses for them.
Can you like in passing, like fold a note in half and say, hey, I didn't give you this, and slide it across the table and go, but check on this address, check on this horse and see what's going on. And you've got them out there with binoculars looking. This is just the way my mind works, Mike.
Okay. Well, why don't you start going around and looking at people's horses with binoculars?
Well, I know there's a place up the road that my wife sees. It doesn't have horses. It has like cattle out there.
Right.
And they're in there's 16 heads of cattle, and they're in like a half-acre round pen type situation, and she's like going, that's horrible, I'm gonna call the whatever on them. And I'm like, okay, so do it.
Well, yeah, and it's up to what's legal within that state and county and everything else. So
that's tough.
That if you're going to have horses, you need to put in the effort.
Well, hopefully Bucky will do a turnaround recovery, and we'll see better things come out of him. All right, guys, when we come back, one more little segment. We'll let you get back to playing with your ponies. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can join the podcast at any time. Go to equinedynamics.com at the very top of the page. Fill out that little form, and you can be part of the show. What did I say?
Fill out that little form.
I was thinking 3 different things. Let me try that again.
How'd that work for you?
And I almost had a stroke. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can join the podcast. And the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page, it says join the podcast. You can send a voice message, comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. We broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town we like to call Marshville. And if you enjoy the show, make sure you follow us over on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube as well. And over to my far hand side, my very own natural superstar over there is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you doing?
Doing well. So, Mike, what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
Talking terminology. We were talking about the ligament and the nuchal ligament.
The nuchal ligament is kind of like those cables on the suspension bridge holding the neck up.
And the ligament on my chicken bone.
On the ligament on your chicken bone. And it does play a part in when the head goes down, helping to lift and elevate the back.
And the discussion of a conformation of the withers and why the two are connected. Get it connected?
They're connected because they are actually physically connected.
Right.
And
the importance of it.
And the importance of it. A good formed wither makes a difference in performance of the horse. Anything that has to do with performance of the horse makes a difference in longevity and long-term soundness. And
also the case study of Bucky, where its foot looks like frayed. Oops, wrong one. Looks like bamboo shoots is what it looks like.
Too wet, too long. In other parts of the country where you are dry, you don't see feet exploding like this. You don't see as much fungus as we do in this part of the world. And health of the foot. The horse that we're dealing with are not. The little tiny horses from way, way, way back when they were little itty bitty guys about the size of your yellow friend that was running up and down the road.
A little dog.
They had hoses spread out and they were in the swamp, but they evolved to open plains animals where it was arid conditions, and feet. The modern horse hoof is not meant to be sopping wet all the time.
That it?
That's it.
You got it? Okay.
Did that work, or do you want me to keep rambling?
No, that was fine.
I can ramble a lot longer.
No, you're perfectly fine. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the show and you'd like for this podcast to perform out at your location, the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says clinics. Fill out that little form. We can do this podcast right at your very location. If you've got a barn with any kind of people or horses or anything inside of it, we can set up right there, do this show for you in front of all your friends. And it's also a great lesson to learn. We can also do this in front of any elementary schools, kids, teachers, anyone like that. If you want to learn about horses a little bit more through Mike Stine, you can do that as well. Go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page, it says clinics. Fill out that little form. We'll pencil you in. We're wrapping up season 9 here in the next couple of weeks. We'll have a couple of weeks off, so that's the best time to get a hold of us. We have some free time.
Season 9.
Yeah, I'm sorry, season 13. This is episode 9. So we've got a couple left over that we're going to wrap up here, and then we've got a couple weeks off, and that's a great time for us to go out there and be part of your location and your educational process. All right, on behalf of Mike Stine over there,
thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy your ponies.
My name is Travis, and see you next week. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Sometimes I think one thing and it shoots out another.
I understand that. I love that.
Hi, Lucky.